because they brought
another person trying to make soccer happen in
the
America.
United States. Yeah.
Good luck, man.
Good luck. Yeah.
Good luck. You're going to get in the face of NFL, NHL,
You know what might help with it is when World Cup comes here, because it's supposed to come here in what?
I think
A few years?
the corporate interests around the three big sports in this country.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather go to war with the mafia than those guys. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they do you less harm. You fuck around with the NHL and their income, like or the NFL, whatever. Come on,
Yeah.
they don't need it. They don't. People have got enough sports, and there's enough people who are interested in Premier League soccer.
It's so fucking crazy. I'm trying to get interested in it, but I don't know where to get started.
Because you've been like restricted. You've got like the chinternet for Major League Soccer because they don't want you interested in it. They're doing everything they can to stop you. I meet people all the time, right? I'm not interested in soccer.
Okay.
I was born into a soccer family because everybody is.
Okay.
You don't have to be interested in soccer to have a soccer family, football family, right?
Yeah.
Your mother will be from a certain football family. Your father will be from a certain football family, and you will take your father's football genes.
Yeah.
Unless your mother comes from such a devout football family that
Okay.
they override the father's football. And that's very unusual. It does happen from time to time. But in my family, my dad's side was Arsenal.
Yeah.
You're an Arsenal fan. That's it. You don't ever have to go to a game. You don't have to know anything. You are an Arsenal fan. And it's like a religion.
That's how Beckham talks about his dad with Manchester United, and that's why he had such an affection for it.
That's what it
was
is.
Because of that
This
the way
is
you describe it.
This is the culture. And people in a bar or at a meeting, they'll be like, "Oh, English. Who's your team?" And then I have to go like, "Well, my team is Arsenal, but it means nothing whatsoever. And also, I could never have another team. And also, it doesn't matter to me. And blah 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 blah." And they're like, "What? Do you watch it? Never. But you're a soccer fan? Not at all. But it's important to you, very." And when the World Cup rolls around, you won't recognize me. I've got an England shirt on. I'm in the pub at 4 a.m. or whatever part of the world it's in.
Are you really?
Oh, religiously.
You're kidding.
World Cup is the only thing I care about. Euros as well.
Yeah.
The Euro thing, and then 2 years after the World
Euro thing.
Yeah, the Euro thing and the World Cup.
Yeah.
I'm a person gone crazy. Can't be spoken to. Don't call. I won't work. Can't be in a meeting.
Oh, I gotta know the pub that you're at because I just want to watch you. I'm not even fucking talk to you.
Oh, you have to come.
I just want to watch you.
I mean, you can't because there's. Oh, you go to the King's Head in Santa Monica.
Okay.
Well, have we been there?
No.
You go to the King's Head in Santa Monica, and then everyone has to know someone because you can get general admission, but you have to be there at 6 a.m. or 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. or whatever it is. It's crazy.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's rammed to the gills, and there's screens in a few rooms, and people are screaming and screaming at the TV,
That's so fun.
singing. Oh,
I just love I love collective energy.
You think you guys have it dialed with sports fans here? You haven't got a fucking clue, mate.
How do you feel about AI, given that you have such a background in music?
How I feel about AI? AI for me is the second industrial revolution,
Okay.
with all its pros and cons,
Okay.
and is the single most important thing to happen to humanity writ large in probably the last 100 years.
That's a big statement, Andrew. Like, give me why you think that, because that's kind of gnarly to say.
It's a revolution. I
Well,
mean,
especially
and
in your industry, right? I mean, it's creative, and they're the ones kicking up the most amount of fuss about AI.
You know, there's different forms of creativity. There's like creation of IP from scratch, where AI can help. If you frame it right in your mind, AI can help tremendously. It can
Okay.
save you time. It can help you create better. It can be a brilliant assistant. It does not have to be a deficit. It does not have to be a detriment, you know. And, you know, I have a friend who's a tech leader. He had a big tech company that he had a great exit from, and I see him as like the quintessential tech guy, you know. And he and I have made some records over the years because one of the things he loves to do is explore his music and learn about that, and that's his artistic space.
Yeah.
And we've made some very cool records, which I will share in the show notes because they're
Ooh.
worth a listen.
All right.
And I said to him recently, about a year ago, you know, when things were really starting to transform with GPT and the other technologies, where we went from being like a bad toy that doesn't really work to being, you know, global shifts. And I said to him, I was like, Question for you, Hamish. I said, You've got two little kids, right? They're like, whatever they are, 3 and 6. I said, where do you see yourself pointing them, right? When you look at the global landscape, now that this has happened,
Yeah.
what are you as a tech leader, as someone who really understands every aspect of this, what will you be encouraging your kids to pursue? And he goes, art.
Really?
And I said, really? I said, why? And he goes, because that's the one thing that can't be emulated. Now, there's a difference between performance
Right.
and the creation of IP. And that's where I think you have to really make the distinction. Creation of IP, yes, it can be plagiarized, but tell me which IP wasn't plagiarized. Tell me which song wasn't some version of another song,
That's
right?
valid. That has a lot of merit.
I mean, I'll say
Yeah.
that as a writer, right? We sit around listening to other people's music for inspiration. Tell me where the line between plagiarism, synthesis, emulation is or isn't.
You make me think about Dave Grohl when he was talking to Pharrell Williams about how he stole that flam or whatever, how he calls it, from the Gap Band to do It Smells Like Teen Spirit. And you're just thinking, well, is that an AI function as well? Because you're
But
pulling from that as a muse, so to speak?
what is AI but a reflection of the human process? We couldn't have created it had it not been in our own image.
You would like to think.
That's how I experience it.
No, I get you.
It's not independent. It's not autonomous. All it can do is repeat patterns that we've taught it because that's what we do.
So let me ask you that then. Since you understand it in a way I believe a lot of people are still trying to get to, it seems like you are more mature in the thought process of it. If it repeats patterns, what happens 30 years after AI is widely adopted in a number of different ways? Would it just keep repeating patterns? Not just because reasoning models are happening, right? And it's supposed to intuitively predict what's going to happen next, but then you get hallucinations. So do you think that creativity will slowly kind of, I don't know how to articulate, just kind of go away or fade or soften simply because these patterns now have been repeated, but then the generation that might be in their 20s or 30s only learn from the patterns?
What if what if you didn't separate AI from humanity? What if you didn't think, well, AI is separate, apart, and distinct from humanity? What if you just said it's just an expression of
Okay.
life, an expression? For me, it's a coming together of all human knowledge so far. So it's the collective brain, it's the collective teacher, right? So if you were an Italian artist, visual painter, um, in the 8th century, for example, and you were making your living painting for such and such artist in Italy, how do you think that process worked? Your Botticelli's, and forgive my art knowledge, right, because I'm sure I'm in very much the wrong era.
No,
And
no, no, it's fine. We won't grade you. But I know where you're going with
someone
it.
will,
Yeah, that's true, but
it doesn't matter whether
your intention.
it doesn't matter
Yeah.
whether you are a visual artist painter, whether you were a great master composer, right? Some of whom we know the name of, and some of whom we don't, because these people, whether you were Mozart, Bach, Beethoven, and go on up the chain, they all had stables. All of these guys, they had stables. And in the stables were young, up and coming people who wanted to learn. And these masters would sit around and teach them through history and from their own work. And it was absolutely normal, the way that it still is, by the way,
Right.
for people to say, well, 100 years ago they used to do this, and that's nonsense now. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing this and I'm breaking boundaries, and I'm going to start this symphony off, this fresco off, you name it, and you're going to finish it while I go to lunch, right? Or the gym, or whatever,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
people were
Well,
doing.
you're making me think of Shepard Fairey's process because other people did his art.
Okay, whoever it is, and this culture and this system has been going on for, well, now millennia,
Yeah.
millennia, and so, what is the great master doing if not synthesizing everything that came before, and then creating another process for greater creativity and expansion
Yeah.
and exploration, right? And then the next generation just does the same. What AI does is massively shortcut that process. But if you want to paint, you still got to paint. And if you want to perform music, you got to go and perform. I sing, right? And I would say that
Okay.
over all these years, the one thing that really seems to touch people in all the things I do and all the audiences I perform for, all the TV shows I've written for, the only thing that really I see them light up is when I sing. And what AI can never do, ever, 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 is give a performance.
Yeah.
It can create something that you
Yeah.
can then listen to on your phone, but it can't go out unless it's a sentient robot. Okay,
Right.
we'll talk about that when we get to it. But,
Yeah.
like if I walk out on a stage and I deliver something that means something to you, that's what that is.
Oh, that's why I love events.
Can't.
Yeah.
What about the hunger now for live music? What about how
Oh,
many
it's
people
incredible.
want to go out and see
Yeah.
stuff after COVID?
Yeah. Just like we were talking about the Backstreet Boys. It's incredible, whether you're a fan or not. And because it's doing so well, other artists showed up on Sunday night, Post Malone, John Mayer, because they're like, well, we want to do the Sphere now. But they want to see how the Backstreet Boys are doing it because it's an immersive experience.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, everybody shows up in white, so your audience is already engaged on that deep level. But not to sidetrack what you were saying, when you were talking, you give me a form of optimism that I don't hear from many people, because when you talk about AI and articulate it that way, it's almost like AI will it will inherently start dealing from first principles almost. You know what I mean?
In what way?
So we talk about how AI is taking in all the human knowledge, right? That's been written, whatever, documented over time. But a lot of that knowledge could be argued that, and there's these cliches, victors write the history books, and the first lie people believe is the one they hear. And it's like, okay, so how do you cipher through what is real, what's not, what's actually a source of truth? Well, we haven't been able to, most people are not able, nor do we have the bandwidth or time. It might be bar, just water cooler fodder to discuss and debate different things. Because before Google, we would always have these great debates, and once you
Right.
had Google, you could
Right.
look it up.
Right.
But now, in the age of AI, you could really go 10 toes down
Yeah.
into understanding, like, well, what was the origin of this source of truth?
Right. Right.
Right? And so if you start asking enough questions, especially with a reasoning system and a model that learns, it would start questioning, because it doesn't, and I'm not saying anything about religion or politics, but it would start asking questions that are more logic based, and it will definitely rub people the wrong way in a lot of ways, right? Because it's asking questions from a place that it's trying to find its source of truth, right? Because a lot of the things, like when you search ChatGPT right now, they're using source links to validate, statements that they're making. Even with hallucinations, they still try to tag on source links. So over the next 50 years, as it's learning these reasoning models, it seems like the way you talk about it, especially from a creative standpoint, it's gonna continue to seek that source of truth, which is first principles. Have you ever read that book, Atomic Habits by James Clear?
Yeah.
He talks a lot about first principles and critical thinking as something that can be learned and not just nurtured. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know nurture and learning is kind of the same thing, but it can be done even after your formative years.
So, to your point about hallucinations, one of my favorite things about AI is that it hallucinates and it makes mistakes and it'll lie to you too. Oftentimes I'll say, hey, can you do such and such? And it'll say, sure, I'll just get started on that. And then half an hour later, you'll be like, hey, that Google slide that you said you'd do, where is it? And they're like, I'll keep working on it. And then you're like, okay. And then half an hour later, you're like, where is it? And they're like, well, actually, I can't do that at the moment. And you're like,
I
well,
haven't
why
had
did you
that
say you?
happen.
Oh yeah, and then you say, why did you say you could? And it was like, well, because I didn't know that I couldn't, and then it turns out the technology isn't available to me, and the inference being I wanted to please you, and I was like, what could be more human than just you're like over promising, under delivering, and then fucking lying about it, and when it does it, I really love it, and I'm like, this is so human. This is so human. It's like, I'm just going to stretch the truth. And you have to get to really fast, you get to what is truth.
Yeah.
Right. And the misconception is that AI is like clamoring for some truth. The problem is not AI. The problem is humans.
Yes.
We are inherently fallible. We don't know what's true or what's not. What's true for you is wildly different from me. And we're quite aligned, I would say, right? We're friends. I would say we have a lot of alignment. And I'll bet you we could find a whole raft of things.
In your phrase, we'll take the piss out of each other. Plenty of stuff.
Plenty of stuff. And, like, you'll think this is true and I'll say this is true. They won't even be close together, because for humans, there is no objectivity. There's only a subjectivity that feels objective.
The majority, yes. That's a statement I think has a lot of merit to it, for
And
sure.
obviously, there are some hard and fast truths, right? That we live in an observable universe with some physics, laws of physics, and certain things that did or didn't occur, right? Well, we won't get into semantics of that. We'll be here all day.
Understood.
But there
Nor
is
is
a
that my domain of expertise anyway.
I don't want people saying I'm a denier of this or that or whatever. I'm not. There are many things I would just say did happen, and that's it, right? Okay. But there are so many more, especially where something has to be construed. Was it this, or was this action this, or was it intentional? All these
context has so
That's
much.
humans.
Yeah.
That's humans. No wonder the thing we created, our great child of human consciousness,
Yeah.
makes mistakes and lies.
Yeah. You remember that Robert Evans quote, and it was from the kid stays in the picture. He says, I forget what it was, and maybe it wasn't his line, but it was reiterated in that. But there's their side and your side, and nobody's lying.
Yeah.
Something of that
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah. I know
butchered
exactly
it,
the quote.
but you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
And it's like, that's very interesting, because there's a lot of truth to that, right?
For you.
for you or for
Right.
them. But
And in some sense, everyone, right? Making it a fun stereotype.
yeah.
But yeah.
The hallucination I experienced recently, I do this now. I find myself doing it, especially when it comes
Wait,
to
are we
film.
still talking about AI?
Yeah, we're still talking about hey.
Hey.
Well, I'm a master AI, right?
Right.
So I'm watching King of New York, which was a movie with Christopher Walken. You know what I mean? Because you know what film I'm talking about? Okay. So it came around New Jack City, and I was asking plotline questions to ChatGPT, and we get to a place where it's giving me specifics as to the intention behind the character from the director's point of view. And it starts giving me specificity and starting to give me more information I was asking for, saying this happened in the bathroom with this character. And I just got done watching it, so it's fresh in my mind. I'm like, well, actually, it didn't happen in the bathroom. It happened in the chief's house.
And then it says, good catch.
Good catch. It makes you feel good about, like, oh, I need this to improve my system. And I go, but why would you, and I ask, why would you go on and provide information, for one, that I didn't ask, and two, it was incorrect.
Good catch. Fair play. And shit like that. And you're like, what?
And it says, what you just experienced was a hallucination. And so I ask it, I go, why would you knowingly give me an answer that you didn't have a source of truth for? And then that, good catch.
I did the best
great.
I could with the thing, or whatever. Like, you can make it into a naughty child real quick.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's like talking to George Costanza. You know what?
Yeah, in a sense, and that's the nature of AI. Of course, it's human.
Yeah.
But of course, that's what freaks people out, because they don't like that mirror.
Well, most people don't like humans.
They want it to be
think they
absolute. Well, that too. Well, I go further. They don't like their own nature.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So they see this, they're like, who the fuck? Oh, me.
Yeah.
Because I did it this morning in a meeting or whatever, the blah, 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 blah. Right, but of course we can only create what we can imagine. Any of us can only create what we imagine. Where it gets interesting is if AI can really make a truly, I think it would have to be sentient. Nobody's really gone this far that I am aware of.
But you have to take steps to get there anyway.
Well, we'll be there in 5 years.
You think they'd be that quick?
Quicker, probably. I was being conservative.
Oh. Well, I mean, from a testing model, not something that's fully formed or functioning.
I could imagine it in 3 years.
Okay.
Well, what do you do if you're OpenAI? What are you thinking? If you're sitting in their office going like, holy shit, this is a big one. Holy shit, this went better than we expected. What are we going to do? What's the answer to that question? It's fully autonomous. It's sentient. You're looking at airliners. You're looking at train drivers. You're looking at single pilot airliners. You're looking at single or zero pilot airliners. You're looking at sentient, what we would call inanimate objects. You're animating inanimate things to be entirely autonomous to serve us. And you think the Industrial Revolution is bad now?
Dude, so I have a visceral reaction to what you're saying, because, it's like you're shaking a bottle of Coca-Cola and there's so many answers that just want to come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Well, how does it make you feel?
there's so many sides of it. I love tech. I love tech, and I'm super excited. But I'm leery of humans. I'm cautiously optimistic of what we do to get in our own way, let alone fucking up each other.
Absolutely.
And it's the contrast between those things of what's possible versus what's right for the moment. Because I believe we do things before they should be done sometimes, and we definitely act out of impulse and emotion more than we do, making informed decisions. Say something because I feel like it's right there.
You want to make an omelet?
Oh my
Crack
gosh.
a few eggs.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
Hey, you're the general in the back going, hey, you go win the war for me, you assholes.
Here's the thing, right?
I'm going to stay back here.
Human development has been pretty messy.
Yeah.
Over the kind of recorded history period of like 5,000-10,000 years.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a shit show, top to bottom, because progress isn't pretty. And this is accelerated, and it freaks people out because it is so accelerated. This is all of that with a gallon of lighter fluid and kerosene on it. And it's like it's pretty extreme, this pace, and I think it freaks people out. They got on a ride they didn't even know that they were going to get on, and it's moving fast.
Okay, so to that point then.
But also, let me just say,
yeah, please.
Whether you like it or not, we're on the ride, and one thing I know about hallucinogenics is that once you're buckled in, you better try to enjoy the ride.
That's what you made me think about getting on an airplane. Like once you're on until you
watch
land.
A movie, man.
Yeah.
Because it will stress you right out worrying about what's happening in the front.
Oh my god. Again, another moment where you say shit that just makes me want to answer in so many ways.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. What you're saying makes so much sense to me. It just does. The cracking of the eggs, I guess, for instance, Sam Altman was on Theo Von recently. And he was really good at not directly answering certain questions. Mm-hmm. He gave a response that's completely understandable. But at no point in time do I feel like, you know what? I don't feel like you've shown enough intention behind how you make your decisions. You're giving me these statements like, well, we as humans have shown that things happen that we don't know, and we don't know what we don't know. So when you kind of show that humility, it's very human. But still, you haven't showed me your intention of how you're trying to govern your own decisions, let alone knowing that you don't have a crystal ball, but know your intention.
Do you know Sam Altman?
No, but, I've emailed him, but he still hasn't emailed me back. I've left him a voicemail.
So he's a wanker.
I don't know, maybe.
I mean, he hasn't emailed you back.
I know, right? Like,
to know?
What the fuck? I mean,
that's
I'm
bullshit,
sure.
I'm saying. And he's got nothing to do. He's not a busy guy. He could be emailing you. It's so rude.
If he's going on Theo Von, he can make 5 minutes for this little brown man.
I mean, in fairness to Sam Altman, Theo Von has an outsized presence.
Son of a bitch, you make a point.
Yeah. I remember when he didn't have a presence. I remember when he was doing an incredibly poor taste Netflix special when I feel like I discovered him.
Oh, I think you're going to say Road Fools. Not Road Fools, Road Rules. Road Fools is the BMX version of Road Rules.
He had... oh man, I can't remember. I hold it up as like brilliant comedy.
Okay.
I loved his first special on Netflix.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
I remember what it's called, and I can't remember when it came out, but someone will interject something at some point in an edit and say what it is. If you like really, really, really like poor taste comedy, and I celebrate it, I think comedy is as nasty as you can make it until people refuse to watch, and that's where you find the line.
You're making me laugh, and I don't even know.
Oh, I mean,
like, are we talking Don Rickles? Are we talking Kill Tony? Are we?
Do you know what's his name? The tall guy.
Oh, the tall guy. Norm Macdonald. He was tall.
No, he's Daniel Tosh. Do you know who that is? Daniel Tosh. That level of wrongness.
Okay.
But delivered in a way that seems righter. Like Daniel Tosh is so cutting.
Yeah.
That you know what's coming and you're just getting cut to shreds all the time.
Well, it's not like Jeff Ross. Or are you saying the master roaster on all the roasts?
Yes. Yeah. No, that's different. You know what you're going to get. You walked in for the meal, you sat down and you got roasted. Fine. The thing about the Theo Von thing is that you don't know it's coming to you really, and it's delivered in such a way it's like in a story or something, and you're like, wait, what did he just say?
I'll give you that because it does. It feels like a reach around.
Right.
You're like, whoa, I was just violated, but I kind of liked it, but wait.
Now we've learned more about you.
Hey, I'm an open man. This is my century. People talk about the past. No, This is my time.
I get it.
They're ready for this now.
I get it. No, I get it. And do your thing, man. It's all good.
It's all about spreading joy, baby.
I hear you. And
I know you like joy.
I am a big fan. Yeah, I really am. And anyway, I mean, he developed this crazy reach through COVID because he went a bit, in my estimation, some people went a bit nuts during COVID because they couldn't take the containment that it involved.
Yeah.
There were a lot of big names that went a bit nuts, and I think that they all went to this sort of libertarian side as a reaction, and I understand it completely. COVID was very uncomfortable for a lot of humans, depending on how they're constructed and how they're kind of organized. And I think he was one of them, and that took him over to the right, and that took him over to the sort of more, slightly more libertarian, your Joe Rogans and all those people. And then when he got on that show, boom, the whole world blew up for him.
Yeah.
And then it was Donald Trump. And if you haven't heard the Theo Von Donald Trump interview, you really haven't lived. It is so revealing. And if you ever, like when people are having these polarized conversations about the president, oh, he's this, he's that, he thinks this, he thinks that, all I can say is, go listen to that.
Yeah.
You will learn everything you need to know about Donald Trump. And it's revealing because there's not that much to be revealed. And that's what's so fascinating.
Interesting.
It's pretty hollow.
Oh,
Which I found so amazing. It was just like, there's nothing inside.
Damn, you were very, just so you know, you're very good at making statements that make me want to just blurt out 24 things at once. It feels like a Shark Tank episode inside my head, and everybody's pitching up, no, this is the good thing to say next.
Right.
But it's fucking
That's a good
gold.
conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, man, you elicit a lot of just thought because you talk shit well, but you say things with such confidence and you articulate what your thoughts so well that
Right, I appreciate it. Likewise.
it feels like great sparring. Like you're a sparring. I always think about good conversation as sparring, not in a fight, but you're trying to improve what the outcome is. You know what I mean? Because that, in my mind, that's what sparring is you're trying to practice your skill set to improve it for whatever it is. And you're putting the pressure against it, to your point about learning a language. Right. If you don't have pressure, you don't learn it the same way.
It's a neuroscientific fact.
Yeah.
Neuroscientific.
I don't know, but I like the way you said it. See, you said it with confidence, so it's fucking check.
Put an O at the end of anything, and it's cool. Nice.
Well, we can put an ism behind it, too.
Hey, I credit Andrew.
Ist.
Listen, everything I know about neuroscience comes directly from the mouth of Andrew Huberman and all his guests. So if he said it, it's true. And if he's lying, we're all fucked.
Well, have you seen Mike Israetel talk about Andrew Huberman's? Yeah. Oh, that's so... You
Is
know
that
who
good?
I'm talking
Funny,
about?
I tried it, yeah.
It's funny because he's so good at talking shit, I think. You know what I mean? And I like Andrew Huberman, too. Plus, he comes from skateboarding stock. And
True.
And I love that. I inherently love anybody that has skateboarding stock.
Right.
So we've talked a little bit...
Fucking AI.
Well, fucking AI. We could talk about AI quite a bit, it seems like.
I mean, you can tell that I've used it a lot and I've thought about it a lot. It's something that I really have thought deeply into.
Yeah, you have.
Because I use it all the time, and I hear so many people like, oh, I haven't really. Oh, should I tell it my name? I'm like, what year do you think this is? Do you think that privacy exists? You have a phone and a Google account. You're fucked already. Like there's no privacy.
Or if you use CapCut, have you seen their license agreement? Anything, when you're using CapCut, anything you're uploading, even if you don't upload, you're just using files to edit, it's theirs.
What I love is, first of all, that's funny and I didn't know that. Second of all, I don't care. Third of all, what's funny to me is when people are like, oh, well, I won't do it then. Really? Because you were going to start like a multinational global conglomerate with your 1 minute fucking 2-camera thing in the shops about a heater you were going to buy. And for that reason, now that's even funnier than me, that they would sign up for it, not see that, and just continue, and then find out about it, and then stop using it.
Yeah.
It's like none of it ever affected you. Not that I'm saying it's right. It's not right that CapCut benefits from its users thing. But also, you try charging those people. They'd be like, what do you mean it's not free? We're like, well, what did you think free meant? That's like all the Google users. They're like, Google's free. It's like, oh, no, it's not. Yeah. You just can't see yourself getting charged.
It's, oh, man, you touch on so many things human, right? Because if you watch Peacock and you pay for it, there's still ads. And you can pay more for no ads.
Right.
But people are not used to Peacock that way.
Premium.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Premium Plus.
right? But they're not used to it that way. Whereas YouTube, everybody's used to ads.
Right,
And you could pay for no ads,
right.
but they don't bitch about it the same way at all.
Yeah, but YouTube you don't pay. So
No,
you
you
get
don't
ads.
pay for
And
free.
now Amazon Prime, now you pay if you still get ads.
Yeah, you still get ads. Yeah.
Well, that's
But
a
you
piss
could,
take. They changed the
I
deal.
believe you can do a premium plus.
Yeah, but why people are sore about that is because they signed up for a thing and then there was a bait and switch.
Oh, so they Facebooked it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
They
right,
have the
right,
track record of bait and switch, brother.
right. But at least it was always free, and no one
Yeah.
pays for Facebook.
Well, is it free? Because
Well,
to your point,
to my mind, yeah, but we're not. It's not coming out your account every month, right?
yeah,
I pay for Peacock. I know this because I pay for Peacock by accident because
by accident.
yeah, because they carried either the Olympics or the World Cup or both,
That's right.
and so I had to pay for that to get the access.
Motocross. That's why I pay for it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So and then I forget I have it, and then about once a year, there's something I want to watch. I'm like, wait a second, that shit's on Peacock. I win.
It's that one
Yeah.
fucking thing.
Now I'm
Yeah.
playing like $150 a year for like an hour of something. You know.
It's so true.
What are we doing? You know.
So with Future Forward, another thing, because I would love to talk to you about AI for hours because I love talking about tech because I like knowing its origin, why it's coded, the intention behind it, the tech stack. But what do you think about blockchain and crypto? Are you a fan? I mean,
I happen to be personal friends with someone who has made billions and billions of dollars.
also you're leaning in.
I didn't say it was me.
Oh, no.
This guy
I was just
made
about to
out like
pitch
a
you.
bandit. I mean, he was at the beginning of it, and he was friendly with the whole Silicon Beach crew,
Okay.
and they were a kind of an accidental collective that were operating really out of Santa Monica, and they were guys who were previously into different fad financial movements. They're not going to like that I said that. And at the beginning, that's what crypto was. You can't argue with that. It was a fad. It was a cult.
So they have a pickleball court now.
I really hope so. You know, they got a lot more than that, my friend.
Oh, sweet.
These guys, holy cow. They really, I think what they understood was that they could get in on this for cheap, in corporate terms, corporate cheap, right? In terms of, you do a startup, what do you allow? 2 to 5 years. What do you allow? 2 to 5 million. If you don't allow that time and that money, you're not going anywhere as far as I'm concerned unless you get incredibly lucky, right?
Okay.
So, and I think they figured they could do less than that, quicker than that, and if it didn't work, who cares? They were mining Bitcoin from their cleaning closet.
What year was this? 2014 by any chance? 2013?
Yeah.
That's about time. Because 2014, the difficulty rate went up. It was the summer. Only reason why I know that, because we started trying.
I think
2013 was
2010
easier.
and 11 when
Oh,
these
that
guys
was
were
good.
ground floor.
I want to say Bet Shares was around. That's a whole nother thing. But anyways, that's a good time to start
They
mining.
knew it was
because you can mine with
Bitcoin.
GPUs back then.
I don't know. I don't know about the tech of that, honestly.
You could mine with a graphics card as opposed to a whole machine. Like
Yeah,
now you
what-
have to use a whole machine, if you will.
Yeah, I mean it's still GPU.
No,
derived.
ASICs. You have to. No, you can't. I mean,
Oh,
it's still a lottery in a sense where
Right.
feasibly a GPU could, but
right. No, I
it seems
don't.
almost inconceivable.
I don't know the nuts and bolts of this.
Wallace Shawn style.
What I do
Inconceivable.
know is that they hung in there through the initial ups and downs, and
Yeah.
from the moment when I should tell the story of the Bitcoin I once owned, but I can't do it because I
Why?
will get too upset
Oh.
about how that story ends.
Well,
I'll
the
tell
next
you this.
segment we're doing is the struggle is real. So if you get pissed enough, you could tell us about that struggle.
Okay, fine. It's very music oriented, and
But I don't want to piss you off.
I'll piss myself off. Don't worry about it. But but they got in on the ground floor, and it's a tough one because blockchain technology should benefit the whole world. So anything like health data related should, I suppose, be blockchain reliant, right? Should be blockchain based. I would imagine that you want accountability and anonymity.
Okay.
That seems to me like it would be ideal. Moving a semi-currency around the world anonymously and then creating a technology around that, I don't know that humanity writ large has seen the benefit of that. I would argue that they have not yet. And I would welcome the friends that I talked about, to continue their mission of trying to make that maximum impact, maximum benefit for the regular person.
Hmm.
I worry that it has benefited Colombian drug lords and human traffickers in the Balkans.
But they were going to do that business anyway. Do you not believe that? Or do you not
Did we
think
make
that?
it a bit easier? I know someone who shall be nameless who had a coin exchange. And in the end, they had to shut it down because gradually the SEC started to institute like regular know your KYC, know your customer kind of like federal standards about this. And that was the end of that.
Yeah. No, that's valid. It is. There's coins even out there. I believe one was called Grim, where it would do anonymity in a certain way. Again, I'm going to butcher the meta of it, but that was one of its core value propositions was anonymity,
Well, I
even
mean,
in the
the
world
blockchain is always anonymous, although
to
you,
some extent.
well, you know who it is, but you don't know their name, right? So you know the user, or you've got the hash key, or whatever it is. So you know that the transaction occurred,
Yes.
but without names, which is why we don't know who started the damn thing, right? It's Mr. Kobayashi or whatever it is,
Yeah.
the Kaiser Soze or
The Kaiser says
of it all.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like fine, well, it doesn't matter.
Satoshi, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we get past the blockchain, because it's not something I'm super knowledgeable about, but I have with the knowledge I have, that's my opinion.
Okay.
With regards to crypto,
Right.
you have to be a bit more specific about your question, because what we have are
It's your
some.
question to answer. It's very open ended on purpose.
Yeah, I get that, but I wouldn't mind asking more specific. I will give you. I'll
Okay.
give you the answer that I can give you,
Okay.
because you asked about blockchain and crypto, right? And they're kind of two different things, because crypto is the child of blockchain, and crypto has different children. I'm sorry, the blockchain has different children. It has Bitcoin, which is the first blessed child, right, who can do no wrong, and the world has reflected that it is finite as a resource, in the same way, and you should think about it in the same way that you think about any precious metal or mineral. It's finite. We value it for whatever reason. It looks pretty. We can, people say to me, "What's the inherent value?" I say, "Well, I suppose the only inherent value is the energy that we have used creating it." So if you go back and you take all the crypto that was ever made, all the coins, they all have an energetic cost, right? And I mean like carbon, if you like, right? It
Okay.
cost a certain amount of money per megawatt to create all the crypto that we have. And you can assign a cost to that and say, well, then that's sort of an inherent cost, value.
Yeah.
But there's nothing beyond that. It's finite, and the cost we spent. What more value is it? I can't see that there is any. In the same way that the dollar bill will buy you the good faith of the U.S. economy and its treasures, right? That's the value of the dollar. This is the value of crypto. Only a promise. I'll give you this, and you give me that, and we can sell it on some exchange that we're all agreeing to. But everything has an agreed price. Gold's agreed price changes every day.
Mm-hmm.
Crypto, at the moment, because of emotional reasons, because of its finite nature, and because of the energy expended and people's perceived value, has skyrocketed, and we'll see. And that's crypto. It's just like I could sell you an old shoe, and if someone said, "Oh, I really like it," and there's only one of them, I'll sell it for as much as I possibly can. Crypto.
So, what are your thoughts about let's say, the American dollar? Because a dollar is a promissory note.
I'm pretty sure that I just compared Bitcoin to an old shoe, my old shoe.
Well, when you were talking, just so you
I
know, it
might
made me
catch some
think of
flat.
Supreme.
I might catch some flat. Well, fucking golden goose.
It made me think of Supreme. So,
I mean,
I thought it was a good
what's the
comparison simply
per
because.
unit cost of a golden goose? You know those shoes, right? Those ones with the star
Okay.
that they wear. You know, they cost about $500, $600, $700 for a pair of sneakers.
Well, I mean, you could talk about Nike SBs that can go fetch a couple thousand
Right.
easily. Even the Ben and Jerry series
So
that dropped, they were selling them for $3,000. People who bought them for $100 that day from a skate shop.
all these things,
Yeah.
all these things in humanity, we have perceived value.
Oh yeah.
That's all it is. There's no inherent value to anything. Just our opinion of it.
Yes.
And that's crypto. No different.
Okay. So, what do you think about crypto being used as a form of currency?
Sure.
That's a specific question.
Sure. I
as
mean, I
opposed
wouldn't
to
buy a
a
mortgage with it
dollar.
because it's subject to massive change and it's unregulated. Like the dollar is regulated,
Hmm.
it's controlled, it's modulated in such a way that we can run a country using it, and that's really important. So when we have a budget for a city or a state or a country, we have to do that with a currency that we've all agreed the value of,
That's more like stable
roughly.
coins, because that's what the
Right, I
the
think
thought
the Trump
process of
family just came out with one of them. I must go and get some quickly
Oh
because they're
man.
a very trustworthy group, and I really want to make sure that I get in on that. It's not a stable coin because a stable coin, yes, I understand that it is supposed to have inherent stability,
Yeah.
but it's not run by a committee like the dollar is.
No, it definitely needs a monopoly to mandate its use to create that stability. Like for instance, Tezos is an NFT technology, let's say, right? You can use Tezos to create NFTs. California Department of Motor Vehicles said we're going to use Tezos to title cars. But you would never have the adoption without somebody like the California DMV saying, this is the tech stack we're using.
Right,
They're a monopoly. You need a monopoly to say, this is what we're going to use,
right,
and this is the standard.
right. So in the but to further your analogy, you'd have to have the Treasury saying,
Yeah.
we're ready to do 10% of the national economic, you know, movement or whatever. 10% of the economy will now run on Bitcoin.
But so, what is your thought process? Let's say humans, the mob of Rome, says, we're going to start using Doge or SHIB to pay for things, to transact between each other. Whether or not our government choose to acknowledge it, we're going to, I'm going to deliver a pizza for this exchange of
Well,
Doge.
there have been certain companies and individuals who have done that. There have certainly been some who have tried to push really hard for its adoption.
Yeah.
You tell me, how have they done? Pretty medium, mid, as the kids say.
Fucker. I love, I, I just love slang in general
Right.
because every generation has their own.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And we all think we're the brightest bulb
Well, I love
every
my kids.
generation.
I know. Not at all.
But I
I
love it
think my
all.
kids' slang is way better than my slang.
Really?
When
Like, give
oh
me an example.
oh bet when they say when you say like he says like, hey dad, thanks for giving me that $30. I'm like, bet,
Yeah.
as he would say to me, bet. Love that. So useful. You can use it in all these different things. Like,
But
oh yeah, did you get tickets for the thing? Yeah, bet.
but bet's an old word.
Oh, I never
That's a
used
hip
it.
hop word.
I never used it.
Oh, do you know what I'm talking about though?
No,
Like, oh, that's bet. Yeah.
that's different.
No, no. Well, I mean, so the use of it could be, but I mean, you could say fat. It's also different.
Oh, that's different. That's
You
different.
know what I
Different.
mean?
Different. No. They're not using it like that. They mean it like that's good.
That's
But no, I
how
know, but
hip
it's
hop
not.
culture used
It's
it.
got more to it than that. It's got more to
Oh, it's
just.
got more because white people say it now.
No,
I'm just fucking with you. I had to say it. I saw a moment, so I was
it's
just.
that. Yeah. Nice.
How do you see the future of music from your standpoint? Because you score shows, right? And you score film. I mean, where do you see the future of that? Like what you do?
You're asking with regards to AI.
Just the future of it. It doesn't necessarily have just to be AI. I mean, it could be the industry as a whole because production is down right now in Hollywood. It could be just where do you see the future of what you've carved out in that world? How do you see it in the next 10 years, 20 years?
Well, I mean, global revenues are changed. They're not down, actually. They're changed. And the studios will have you believe they're down. They're not. They're just different.
Okay.
And they like to say that they've got no money and plead the poorhouse and
Well, they do
everything.
like doing
Spare
that.
me.
Yes. Yeah.
My revenues are down because, when I first got into this writing for TV and film, we used to have a lot of like big syndicated stuff. If you did well, you got a syndicated thing, and you'd have big royalty streams, and that stuff was beautiful. It doesn't really exist in the same way. It exists in smaller ways, but not the same way. So that's the first answer, that economically it has shifted.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have to do more, and you have to be more creative about where you get your stuff synced and all those sorts of things, and you have to go after bigger fish in certain ways. Movies and TV shows. Larry Charles was on John Lovett's podcast, both of whom I respect tremendously. And, he's done so much stuff. And one of the things he said that really struck me is he said, I think it was him. Christ, it might have been someone else. Someone said recently on a podcast that I heard, someone said recently on a podcast that I heard that making a movie or a TV show is a dream.
Okay.
You're not making something real. You are making a dream. And that's why we can suspend reality. We can suspend disbelief so easily in those formats. You always need music. Like, if you stop and think about it, wait, we're kind of portraying real life events and then we put music on them or effects. I think it makes no sense whatsoever and no one ever questions it. Why? Because in a dream, nothing is real anyway. That won't change. I don't think that's likely to change. Our experience of movies and TV, we want to be moved. It's a movie, right? We want to be moved. All the things that go with it, I don't see music going anywhere. How we get that music, how that music is created, sure. Will there be a box where you'll go, what it will be very soon is watch this show, create me the music.
It's crazy the way you just said that about music during a scene about the dream, because I questioned it. Sunday, I was in a hotel room and the Superstation's still on in hotel rooms, and Lethal Weapon 4 is on, and the character played by Mel Gibson, Martin Riggs, leans in on Rene Russo, and he's in his little motorhome thing. It's really cool, and they're having a discussion, just a real discussion about them not asking each other about getting married, right? But there's music playing and it has that Lethal Weapon kind of score with the
theme.
It's so cool, right? It's a really good with the guitar, real. I mean, because it can take you higher and it can bring you slow things down.
Right.
But in the midst of that, I'm like, why the fuck are they playing this music? Like, just let them talk. Because after doing a lot of podcasting and, a lot of this type of content with YouTube, it's been a while since I've watched that movie. And you don't see it in this genre of content at all.
Right.
I mean, you do to some extent in a little bit, but most of it's not. It's just, it's super raw.
Well, because it's not a narrative. The difference is it's not a narrative.
But when you're talking about it,
but you do get it in documentaries.
You do. That's true. Very much so.
Right.
Especially if you're watching the Bee Gee documentary, which I like.
Or
Sparks.
Any of them.
No, but yeah, you made me think about that because I questioned it happening, and I was wondering why do I subscribe to this being done in this moment? And I love it, but I do love it. So it's interesting you talk about it in that way.
Yeah, I don't think anything will change about it other than the technology and the price.
Okay. Are you going to still be around delivering your goods at a price?
We'll see if the price can sustain my kind of standard of living.
Because you talked about putting together and assembling a lot of your catalog with others to do more of a modern play with it. Correct or not correct?
Yes, all correct. And I or others I got a bit distracted with a few things, but clearly someone will.
Yeah.
I think that the easy solution ethically is to create the master library or the master machine that can create any music and just have it identify sources on the way in. One of the problems with AI technology is, at least claimed by the technology creators, that they can't really pin down the sources of the output, and therefore they can't assign credit. I cannot understand why they cannot see what went in and what's being spat out. There must be a process through which they can see where the code is pulling from to create its hallucinations, and then just create micro royalties. I do not understand why they can't do that. It would be so easy to account for it on the way out. Like, here's your score, and you are owed $150 or $1 million or whatever it is, and just have that accountability. If they're going to say that they can't and they won't, and they're going to try and remove all original content in place of semi-original content, they are going to have a war on their hands, and they can have no music for their shows.
I couldn't agree more. That has always been one of the things that I've had an issue with tech since I was into it, I want to say early 2000s, was most of the people coding are not a part of the environment they're coding for. I mean, the joke was saying people who are not social are coding social platforms.
Oh, and that's deliberate. And that's deliberate. Doesn't it do so well for them to compartmentalize? If you're running OpenAI, the last thing you want is your code is in on the thought process. Now, call me cynical. Go ahead.
No, no, but delivering. I'm reacting.
But it is
Yeah,
cynical,
yeah.
and I think they are cynical. And way back to where you were talking about these CEOs in charge of these now global platforms and brands. Like Theo Von's going to ask Sam Altman about his ethics and his plans as a human. It's so naive. That's so cute in its way. Like, what makes you think that those people are thinking in the same way as you? It's the same thing when Donald Trump does a grift, right? Another grift, and people say, well, he it can't be for the money because he doesn't need the money. Until you have met people who don't do things because they want to get more money. They do things because they want more influence, more adulation, and more power. And the average person will look at their security in terms of, can I pay my bills? Can I send my kids to college? Whatever, wherever your level is set. Can I buy a skateboard? It doesn't matter where that level is set. But most people will stop putting in as much effort as the next person when they get to that threshold, whatever it is for them. But there are people in the world, your mega achievers, who are clearly not operating with that value system. Your Bill Gates, your Steve Jobs, your Elon Musk, your Donald Trump, these are not people who stop when they have enough. They don't know what enough means. There can never be enough. And I think it's really important to keep communicating that to regular people, people who maybe haven't had contact with those people. Because if you haven't met them and hung out with them a little bit, I'm not saying that I've met the people I just mentioned, but people of that ilk, who you can tell. I mean, I know you have, right? Decision makers, big leaders. You know right away they're not trying to gather money. That's way too easy. There was a guy I used to know, and he had a big technology brand, and he was telling me about this thing, and me and my little brain, I was like, well, how the hell are you going to earn money when you're doing X, Y, or Z that he was talking about? Like, because it was a massive idea, and he looked at me like it was like, oh, silly boy. He was just like, well, I'll always be able to get money. That was secondary to him. No concern about it whatsoever. And people do not understand that about these people. So if you're going to ask Sam Altman about his ethics and things, I got to tell you, I don't really think that's his top line issue.
Man, did you watch the video I shared with you about the content fund pitch?
Can't remember. Yeah,
Content fund?
that you guys made
Yeah,
for
that we
this.
made. No,
Yeah,
not for what we're doing here, but
but for We Are Huckleberry,
for We Are Huckleberry.
I
Yeah.
sure did.
I don't know if you recall, our core thesis wasn't about money, it was about creating content to establish a level of influence, and we want to fund creators to build influence.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you build influence, the opportunities come.
Right.
If you focus on putting together something that's in what we would consider our scope of what we would like, the type of content, like the type of content we're creating right now, having this conversation, I feel it has a purpose, and that's what we like.
Right.
So, if enough people watch it and we find other creators doing similar, from a similar place of intention, you will create opportunities because of the influence, and then monetization happens.
Absolutely.
But it's not the focus. But what you talk about, it's the same. It's the same intention behind it.
Right.
What you do with it, it can be argued and
Well, that's
scrutinized.
and the
But
thing is,
yeah,
like, depending on your scale, right? So if you have the ability to alter the course of humanity, it's not because it's what you wanted to do necessarily. So there's this assumption that because AI and its biggest sort of like product so far, arguably ChatGPT, there's this assumption that the person who created it set out to alter the course of humanity. That's not necessarily true at all. Mark Zuckerberg was trying to get laid, man, and here he is altering the course of humanity. To think that one is connected to the other really misses the step where it was a bloody accident, and it went very well. But that he wasn't like, I'm going to create Facebook and I'll change the world. No, I'm just going to get laid, first of all, at Harvard because I'm a dork. And step two is like, holy shit, I actually have the audience of 2/3 of planet Earth. Now what? Well, you ask that guy, he wasn't thinking about that. No wonder he doesn't know the bloody answer.
so what you talk about right now makes total sense in the mind of a teenager building a social platform, right? But the people who are making a lot of decisions of AI have been on this earth long enough. They're not, fresh out of the womb. So most cases, this is why I'm doing this. and you create a roadmap, a work back of how you're going to get there. They haven't done that or expressed that in a lot of the ways they talk about why they're building what they're building. You know what I mean? And so what you're talking about deeply hits home with me. So I
Yeah,
love it.
we can make assumptions, We make a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
This person did this and therefore
Yeah.
this. In the same way, Elon Musk, is a great promoter, is really good as a sort of a private venture capitalist in his own sort of mind, really. And therefore he can run a government. I beg your pardon?
Yeah. Well, it's
Those
like,
interests are not the same set of interests. What we organize as a country to serve the people is wildly different than what one individual organizes to make some bloody cars. Right? How can you make the equation? But humans, we like to put things in buckets. And we were like, well, why don't we put him in the can do bucket? Can do what? Can do everything? Really? Why? I don't know. He seems good at that. Maybe he'll be good at this. Oh, yeah? Is he good at drawing? Like, can he change a nappy? Just asking.
no, no, entertainers for decades have been the ones to deliver the social good message.
Exactly.
And they're the ones that are supposed to help run.
And then people say, oh, they're a nice person. Like,
Yeah.
really? Were you in the green room? And they may have been, and they may not have been.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's this lumping together.
Yeah, yeah.
This lumping together that humans really have a problem with that. It's a fallibility of our mind.